Now the adventures of Superman. After saving the planet Apollo from destruction and seeing the inhabitants under the leadership of his friend Thane freed from slavery, Superman suddenly remembered that he had left a sealed letter revealing his identity as Clark Kent with Dr. Millison, the famous scientist, back on Earth. In the event that Superman had not returned to Earth by a certain day, the letter was to be given to Editor Perry White. Saying a hasty goodbye to the Apollonians, Superman started back to Earth millions of miles away. But meanwhile, in Metropolis, Dr. Millison had brought the letter to the Daily Planet. And as we continue now in Perry White's office, the gray-haired editor is opening the wax-sealed envelope as cub reporter Jimmy Olsen enters. Listen.
Here I am, Chief. Oh, hello, Dr. Millison.
Hello, Jim.
You want me, Chief?
Yes, Jim. Dr. Millison just brought this letter from Superman.
From Superman?
Yes, you see...
Flippin' lizard, you mean he's okay? What about Mr. Kent? Where are they?
Now, wait a minute. Keep your shirt on.
Let me see the letter.
Will you wait a minute? Wait till I open the envelope.
Gee whiz,
What? Well, what's this?
What? Let me see.
Will you stop grabbing?
But I want...
It's another envelope, also sealed. And it's addressed to Perry White, Lois Lane, and Jim Olsen.
Well, that's me.
To be opened in the event of my death.
His death? Oh, gosh. Poor Mr. Kent. I thought you just got the letter in the mail and that Superman and Mr. Kent were okay.
I wish that were so.
Unfortunately, it isn't. Superman and Kent have apparently been lost in space.
Oh, gee whiz.
I begged Superman not to go this time, but he wouldn't listen to me. Well, you'd better open that letter. He said it was very important.
Well, I'm trying to, but the flap is sealed with wax like the other outer envelope. I'll get my letter opener. Oh, wait a minute. Well, this is addressed to Lois, too. Where is she?
Oh, I don't know. She can see it later. Open it, please.
We can wait an extra minute, Jim. Now, you go get her.
Oh, all right.
I can't imagine why Superman left this letter for Miss Lane and Jim and me, Dr. Millison. Do you suppose this could be his will?
No, I asked him that, but he said it was something much more important.
That's so. Well, in that case, I'll open it right... Oh, drat it. Now what? Hello? Who? Oh, yes, he's here. For you, Dr. Millison.
Oh, thank you. Dr. Millison speaking. Oh, yes, Dr. Bloomfield. How are you?
Miss Lane went out on that Hannigan story, Mr. White.
Easy, Jim, easy. Dr. Millison was on the phone.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What? Are you sure?
Look, Chief, we don't have to wait for Lois to open Superman's letter, do we?
Good
No,
heavens, but...
since Superman told Dr. Millison it was very important, we'll open it at once.
Oh, swell. Go ahead.
I need my letter opener, though, but I can't seem to find it.
That's amazing. I can't believe it.
Oh, here it is, Chief.
Huh? Oh, thanks. We'll just open this now and see what it says.
Oh, hurry up. I can hardly wait.
Yes, of course. I'll come at once.
I'm getting the wax off the flap now.
Mr. White,
Yeah?
Dr. Bloomfield just called from the observatory. He believes he's sighted the lost planet Apollo.
What?
Yes, it has apparently retreated from the sun and seems to be revolving in an orbit of its own space once more, which would indicate that Superman must have saved the planet.
Good Godfrey.
Gleeps. Does that mean he and Mr. Kent are okay?
I should say it might very well mean that. If it is really Apollo that Dr. Bloomfield has sighted.
If. But you just
I
said...
said Dr. Bloomfield believes he sighted Apollo.
Oh.
However, there are one or two details which need confirmation. I'm going to the observatory now. You two care to come with me?
Do we?
No, of course we do. Why, this may mean that Kent and Superman, too, are alive. Come on, Doctor. Come on. Let's go.
Now, do you see, Dr. Millison? Do you see?
Yes, Dr. Bloomfield. I believe it is Apollo. I'm a little puzzled.
Please, may I see?
Keep away from the telescope, Jim.
As I recall, there was a series of peak formations across the northern bridge of the planet. But I don't see them now.
That troubles me, too. There was such a formation.
You mean it isn't Apollo after all?
Don't interrupt
There
Jim.
also seems to be a difference in the pattern of the rivers and canals.
Exactly. That's why I asked you to come here. Yet surely there cannot be a planet other than Apollo within the inner ones, which we have not yet discovered.
No, but...
Oh, gee whiz, make up your minds, will you? Is it Apollo or isn't it?
Jim, what's the matter with you?
Oh, gosh, Chief.
Be
The
quiet,
size and general formation seems very much like Apollo, Dr. Bloomfield.
Yes, but
Changes could very well have taken place when the planet was lost in space and drifting toward the moon, you know.
that's what I think. I really believe it is Apollo, Dr. Millison.
And so do I, but we might be mistaken. Where are the photographs we made of Apollo?
Over here on my desk.
I'd like to examine them again.
Oh, now where are we? First it was Apollo, and Superman and Mr. Kent were probably okay. Now it might not be Apollo, and we're right back where we started.
Well, now, Jim, that planet, whatever it is over 30 million miles away. And even this telescope, the most powerful in the world, can't perform the impossible.
Yeah, I know, but... Gosh, when I think about Mr. Kent and Superman,
I know. I feel that way, too. Well, while we're waiting, we may as well read Superman's letter.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about
The
it.
time limit, he said, has passed, and we're not at all sure Apollo has been sighted again, so... well, where did I put that envelope?
Oh, haven't you got it?
Oh, I don't seem to have
Well,
it.
look in your inside pocket.
Oh, I am. It's not here.
Oh, golly, what?
Now, take it easy, take it easy. I must have left it on my desk. Yes, that's right, I did.
Phew, had me scared for a minute.
Oh, Dr. Millison, I hate to interrupt, but how long do you think you'll be?
Hard to tell, Mr. White. We're going to take some photographs of the planet now. It may be several hours, perhaps days, before we can positively identify it as Apollo or not.
Several days.
Well, in that case, we'll go back to the office. I want to read that letter of Superman's. Will you phone me when you come to a decision?
Yes, of course.
Oh, thanks. Let's go, Jim.
Leaving the observatory, Perry White and Jimmy Olsen start back to the Daily Planet. And a short time later, as Dr. Millison and Dr. Bloomfield work over their charts and photographs in the observatory, the door opens, and a tall figure in blue costume and red cape enters and strides swiftly toward them.
Good day, gentlemen.
Dr. Bloomfield, look.
It's Superman.
Right.
We've given you up. Tell me what happened.
Yes, what of Apollo? Tell us everything.
Apollo is all right now, but listen.
You mean this is Apollo that we now see beyond Mars?
It is.
Tell me what happened. How you did it. Why you...
I'll tell you everything later, but first I've got to know about that letter I left with you, Dr. Millison. The one addressed to Mr. White. Where is it?
The letter?
Yes.
Oh, yes, the letter. I gave it to Mr. White.
You did? When?
Why, a couple of hours ago, at noon.
Great Scott, then he's read it. Then
I don't
then they
know if he's read it yet. You see, White and Jim Olsen were about to when Dr. Bloomfield called us to come to the observatory. And come to think of it, when they left here a little while ago, I overheard White say that they were going back to the Daily Planet to read your letter.
Oh, never mind the letter. Tell us.
Just a moment. How long ago did Mr. White and Jim leave here, Dr. Millison?
Why, let's see. I'd say about an hour ago.
An hour ago. I just about have time to get back to the planet. If I'm lucky, I might still be able to get there before they read it. I'll use this window if you don't mind.
But wait, Superman.
You must tell us about Apollo.
Later. Right now, there's too much at stake. Up and away! Leaping from the observatory, Superman streaks toward the Daily Planet with all the speed he can muster. Have Perry White and Jimmy Olsen read his letter, and so become aware of his real identity at last? We'll know in a moment when we return to the startling climax of today's episode. So stand by.
Say, gang, I don't know when I've gotten such a kick out of something, so many chuckles, as I have out of this brand new series of comic buttons that now come in packages of Kellogg's Pep. Those pictures of your old funny paper friends look so real they could talk. Take Casper, for instance. He's wearing a wide grin and looks as if he's going to tell a joke any minute. And Barney Google in his old-fashioned derby hat and popping eyes. Boy, he's bound to hand you a laugh. And Beezy and the little moose and Superman himself. Every single one of these 18 new Pep comic buttons is strictly terrific. Really worth collecting and wearing pinned on your jacket or your dress or cap. Not to mention the swell fun in swapping duplicates with your pals. So, how about it, gang? Better remind Mom to get you plenty of Kellogg's Pep, because that's the only way you can get these exclusive prizes. You don't send in any money, not even a box top, and you can't buy them anywhere. But there's one of these nifty new comic buttons in every package of Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine cereal. Those crisp, tender whole wheat flakes with a catchy sunshine flavor. Makes mighty good eating for breakfast and mighty good for you. So ask Mom to get P-E-P, the Sunshine cereal, Kellogg's Pep.
Fearful that his friends at the Daily Planet may have read a letter which reveals his double identity, Superman speaks to the newspaper offices. Resuming the guise and garb of the mild-mannered reporter, Clark Kent, he draws a deep breath and enters Perry White's office just as the gray-haired editor is saying to Jimmy Olsen.
Well, I can't understand it, Jim.
Oh, neither can I, Chief.
Can't
Gosh,
understand why.
I can't understand why the...
What?
Good Godfrey! Jim, look.
Bleeps, it's...
Well, go on, Jim. Who?
It's you. Oh, boy, it is you, isn't it?
Why, of course it is. Oh, I put it there, my boy. Put it
Golly.
there. Let me shake your hand. I want to make sure I'm not dreaming, and it really is you.
I'm really who? Who am I?
Huh?
Oh, now, look here, Kent. If this is your idea...
Kent. You called me Kent.
Well, of course.
Oh, sure, of course. It's good to be back.
I still can't believe it. We've given you and Superman up.
Superman and me, huh?
Oh, for heaven's sake, Kent. Is there something the matter with you?
Oh, no. Just relieved, that's all. Look, I presume you didn't read the letter yet.
What letter?
The letter the letter Superman left with Dr. Millison for you. He said he gave it to you today.
Yes, he did, but...
Where is it? I'd like to see it.
Oh, we can't. It's gone.
Gone.
It's disappeared. It's the strangest thing, Kent.
Disappeared? How?
Well,
What-
I thought, in fact, I was quite sure I left it right here on my desk when we rushed over to the observatory before. But when we came back, well, I just simply couldn't find it.
No, and we ransacked the office, too.
Great Scott, this is
This is terrible. If that secret is revealed, if my enemies find out...
Huh?
What are you talking about, Kent?
I'm talking about that letter. We've got to find it, and quickly. If we don't, well, this is about the worst. My enemies get hold of that letter. Why, anything can happen.
Huh?
Great Caesar's ghost, will you please tell us what this is all about?
Gee whiz, I don't get it at all. Look, you didn't... I mean...
No, I didn't commit any crimes or anything like that. It's just that I... Well, you see...
No, I don't see.
No, neither do I.
What was in that letter, Kent?
What was in it?
Yes, what was in it that's so all-fired important?
Why, Well, how should I know?
How should you know? Oh, my dear sainted Aunt Tilly.
Gosh, Mr. Kent, something must have happened to you up on Apollo. How can you say you don't know what's in that letter
Wait a minute. What's the matter with you two? Don't you realize we're talking about Superman's letter?
Of course I know it was Superman's letter.
Well?
What I want to know is why you've been beating your chest and tearing your hair about it. Do you know what was in it?
Well, how should I know?
No, I've got to be calm. I've got to remember I'm not young anymore. But, Kent, if you don't stop bushing about the beating about the bush and tell us what was in that letter,
Oh, I get it.
You get what?
Well, how could Mr. Kent know what was in Superman's letter? Isn't that right, Mr. Kent?
Of course. It's all very simple. I've just been talking for Superman, that's all.
For Superman?
Well, naturally. I'm giving you his own words from his own mouth, you might say. Obviously, he put something in that letter which must not be revealed while he's alive. I'm excited and worried because if that information does become known, he won't be half as valuable to humanity as he is now.
Gosh.
Superman told you that, Kent?
I told you, Chief. I'm giving you Superman's own words. He left that letter for you to be read only in the event of his death. But fortunately, he came back safely from Apollo, and so he must get that letter back before its contents are read by anyone.
Jeepers.
No, well, why didn't you say so before? Instead of gabbing about enemies and...
Well, I guess I was pretty upset. I still am, as a matter of fact. Now, what about that letter? What happened to it?
I don't know. It just seems to have disappeared.
Mr. White was sure he left it here when we went to the observatory with Dr. Millison. But when we got back, it was gone.
How sure are you that you left it here in the office, Chief?
I don't know now. I thought I did.
Do you remember, Jim?
All I remember is he was starting to open it when Dr. Bloomfield called from the observatory about sighting Apollo again. We ran out of here in such a hurry, I can't remember what happened to the letter.
Oh, that's great. Think, Chief. What could you have done with it?
I must have left it here because I didn't have it at the observatory. I looked. You remember, Jim?
Uh-huh. But then it should still be here.
That's right.
I don't see it, but maybe it is still here somewhere. Come on, let's start looking. I'll go through these papers.
We already went through them, Mr. Kent.
No, we've ransacked the whole office, even the files in the wastebasket.
Well, then where could... Now, look. You never lock your office when you leave, do you, Chief?
Well, no. Why should I?
Well, then someone might have come in, seen the envelope, and walked off with it.
Say, that's right.
Nobody,
But who...
nobody could come in here but members of the staff, and none of them would dare take a sealed envelope off my desk.
We can't be too sure.
Well, I am sure. Anyhow, nobody came in here while I was gone. I've already questioned Miss Backrack, whose desk, as you know, is right outside my door.
Wait. When you two left here with Dr. Millison, did you go directly to the observatory?
Uh-huh.
Yes. How did you go?
Why, by taxi.
What kind of taxi?
What kind?
Yes, red and white, checker, yellow, which?
Oh, I think it was a red and white.
No, the yellow, I think.
Or was it a checker?
Oh, come on, make up your minds. Which was it?
Well, maybe it was a checker at that.
Gosh, I don't know what it was now.
Oh, and you call yourselves newspaper men.
What?
Well, gee whiz, we were all excited.
A reporter is supposed to keep his head and be observant.
Now, how do you like that for gratitude? We were worried about you fathead. We thought you were done for, and that's why we...
I'm sorry, Chief. Really, I am. I shouldn't have said that, but I'm very upset, and it's just... Hello? Excuse me, Chief. This is Clark Kent of the Daily Planet. Yes, will you put Dr. Millison on the phone, please, and hurry. It's important.
What are you calling Dr. Millison for, Mr.
Well,
Kent?
I just thought maybe he'll remember what kind of a taxi you were in.
Well, why is the cab so important?
Oh, he thinks I might have dropped the letter in the cab, I guess.
Yes, and what's more... hello, Dr. Millison. Yes, listen, Yes, I'm fine, thanks, but badly worried. Look, do you remember what kind of a cab you and Mr. White and Jim Olsen took from the Daily Planet to the observatory today? Yes, I mean, was it a red and white or a yellow or... A red and white, huh? Are you sure? Oh, that's fine. Did you happen to notice what the driver looked like? You didn't, eh?
Oh, neither did I.
No, I didn't either.
All right, thanks very much. Well, I haven't time to explain now. Yes, later. All right, thanks again, Doctor. Goodbye.
He said it was a red and white, eh?
Yes, and
Well, that's what I said first.
Well, you call the red and white cab company, Kent. Our driver might have found the letter and turned it into his office.
No, I'm going to the cab office myself. If the letter wasn't turned in, I want to find the driver. Come on with me, Jim. Keep your fingers crossed.
Sorry, Mr.
Mr. Kent. There was nothing turned in by any of our drivers today.
Uh-oh.
Of course, it might be turned in later. If you want to leave your phone number,
No,
why...
I can't wait. The letter is too important. I've got to find the driver of that cab and talk to him.
Yeah, but I...
How are we going to do that, Mr. Kent? We don't know who he is, and none of us even remember what he looked like.
No, Jim, but cab drivers have to keep a record of their trips. Isn't that right, Mr. Sandler?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh.
Some driver's log will show a trip from the Daily Planet to the observatory on Mount Arthur around noon today. He's our man.
Oh, well, let's get busy. Check the records.
No, we can't do that yet.
Can't? Why not?
This trip was made around noon, as you say. Driver was working their first shift.
Huh?
That's from 8 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon.
Uh-oh.
First shift drivers won't be in here till 4 with their logs.
Gee whiz, it's just 3:20 now.
Well, if you want to wait...
We'll
why,
wait. We've got to wait. My only hope is that whoever found that letter isn't too curious to refrain from opening it.
Taut with anxiety, Clark Kent starts pacing the floor of the taxicab office, praying that he may get possession of the precious letter before his enemies do. We'll learn in a moment where the all-important letter is. So stand by.
Say, gang, it seems like you can almost feel excitement in the air these days. You fellows and girls are so hepped up about that new series of comic buttons in packages of Kellogg's Pep. Everybody's getting set to collect all 18 in the series and making dates to swap duplicates. That's half the fun of collecting these new Pep comic buttons, you know. If you open a package of Pep and you find a button like one that you already have, well, then you trade off with one of your pals who has one that you need in your collection. It's mighty exciting, and these Pep comic buttons are so doggone slick-looking, you won't want to miss out on a single one. You'll want Vitamin Flintheart and Flash Gordon and Superman and all the rest. So get busy on your collection, gang. Remind Mom to get plenty of Kellogg's Pep. That's right, you don't have to send in any money, not even a box top. And you can't buy these comic buttons anywhere, but you'll find a nifty comic button in every package of Kellogg's Pep you open. That's the Sunshine cereal, you know. Tastes so catchy and golden at breakfast that you want to eat lots, which is always a good idea because Pep's so good for you. Yes, sir, Mom will be glad to get you some P-E-P, the Sunshine cereal, Kellogg's Pep.
In a room on the 18th floor of the Metropolis Hotel, a small, thin man with the round, pink face of a baby stands by admiringly as his companion, a tall, dark man with heavy black eyebrows wearing immaculate evening clothes, painstakingly nuts his white bow tie before the mirror of a dresser.
You sure look like class, that suit and fish eyebrows.
Yeah, I gotta look like class tonight, Buster. Gonna mix with the high society, you know.
Yeah, but don't worry, pal. I tell you, you look more like a dude than the dudes themselves.
Ah, thanks.
What's the idea of getting dressed so early? It's only the middle of the afternoon.
I told you. Takes 3 hours to get out to this joint. Now, blast it. Now I spoil this tie, too. And I hope I got another.
Hey, that's the third tie you thrown away. What's the idea?
I gotta look just right. That's the idea. Ah, good. I got another white tie.
Look, you better bring back something good to make up for all them ties and the cost of renting the fancy duds.
I'll bring back plenty, Buster. Don't worry.
I'll bet you will. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Read this to me, will you, eyebrows?
Yeah, what's that?
It's a letter.
Ah, go on. Who'd send you a letter? You can't read.
Nobody sent it to me. I found it in that cab we was in just before.
I didn't see any letter in that taxi.
It was down behind the seat. I always reach down for a look-see. And sometimes I find money that rolled out of a guy's pocket. This time I found a letter. Read it to me, will you?
What do you want to read somebody's letter for? Go look at the funny papers. Good for more laughs.
Oh, you already looked at him. Anyhow, I like to hear other guys' mail read to me. Come on, eyebrows. Be a good guy. Read it to me, huh?
Haven't got time, Buster. Throw it away. I'll read you the comics when I get back.
Nah, I don't like to. I like to hear letters. Please, eyebrows.
Oh, all right.
Gee, thanks.
Come on. Give it to me. Hurry up, quick.
All right, here it is. I got it out of the envelope already.
Yeah, good. Says, White, Lois, and Jim.
Oh, it's written to 3 people, huh?
Yeah, 3 people. Prepare yourselves for a shock.
Hey, it starts out real good, don't it?
Since it's very possible that I may never return,
What'd you stop reading for?
Hey, wait a minute, Buster.
What's the matter?
This letter is from Superman.
As we continue now, in their room at the Metropolis Hotel, Buster's eyes have grown round as saucers in his pink babyish face as Eyebrows reads the letter.
Dear Mr. White, Lois, and Jim, prepare yourselves for a shock.
I already heard that part.
Shut up and listen. Since there is a strong possibility that I may be lost in space while searching for the lost planet Apollo,
Huh?
or perhaps fall a victim to the direct rays of the sun,
What's that?
I'm arranging to have this letter delivered to you after a specific lapse of time, which would indicate that I am not returning to Earth.
I don't get it.
Okay, never mind. I, my dear friends, am the person you have long known only as Clark Kent.
Hey, you said this letter was from Superman.
Well,
Well, the way you read it now, the guy, if you ask me, is a screwball. Well, he says it's somebody named Clark Kent.
sure. He's Clark Kent, too.
Oh, there's two guys?
Yeah, that's right.
Ah, what you giving me? Not even Superman can be two different guys.
No. You don't get it, Buster. The way he goes on to say here, when he's not making like Superman, he puts on regular clothes and a pair of glasses and passes himself off for a reporter named Clark Kent.
But why does he disguise himself? Is he running a racket?
No. I'm trying to tell you. Look, when he's a reporter, he can find out stuff without anybody getting wise he's Superman, see? Then he turns into Superman. And whammo, cracks down on the big shot thief or the spy, maybe, or whoever he's after.
Ah, baloney. You can't make me believe a guy like Superman, what can jump from here to China like that, or pick up this whole hotel and drop it in the river, goes around disguising himself like he's somebody else.
Why not? Why not?
Well, I say it's a gag somebody's playing on this guy Clark Kent, whoever he is. How could Superman get lost?
Well, if he went looking for some planet, like he said.
Well, I don't know. Well, still he couldn't get lost.
Yeah, who said he got lost? He just says in this letter he might get lost, or something else might happen to him. Now, look, Buster. If this letter is on the level, we'll be millionaires.
All right, I tell you, it's a gag. Give me that again, Eyebrows. I mean what you just said.
I said if this letter's on the level, we'll be millionaires.
Yeah? How?
Why, there are plenty of big operators, real big operators. They're scared of Superman, see?
Yeah. So how does that make us $1 million?
Hey, don't you see? We sell this information about Superman and Clark Kent being the same guy. And whoever's planning a big job can have Kent tailed, see? Then, if Kent gets close, the guy trailing him tips off the boss before Kent can wise up all the way and make like Superman. Get it?
Look at Eyebrows. Even if you was right, which you ain't, how could you ever prove it?
That's what I gotta figure out right now. There must be a way. So shut up, Buster. Let me think.
While Eyebrows seeks a way to prove the truthfulness of the astonishing information which has fallen into his hands, Clark Kent and Jimmy Olsen are in the office of the Red and White Taxi Company with Joe McCluskey, a driver who has just come off duty.
Oh, sure. I remember driving this young fellow up the observatory today. About noon it was. Two old guys were with him.
That's right. Mr. White and Dr. Millicent.
Yeah, but I didn't find any letter in my cab.
Uh-oh. Now what, Mr.
Just
Kent?
a minute, Jim. Look, Mr. McCluskey.
Just call me Mac. Everybody calls me Mac.
Mac?
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
okay, Mac. Did you examine your cab thoroughly after my friends got out of the observatory?
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. But you just looked the car over yourself.
Yes, that isn't there now. Mr. White might have dropped it on the floor or behind the seat where another passenger found it.
Yeah, I suppose that could be.
Gosh, how are we going to find out, Mr. Kent?
Your log, Mac. The record you keep of your trips might help us. Can you check where you went after you dropped your fare at the observatory?
Well, wait a minute. Let me see. Yeah, sure. Here we are. I left the observatory at 2:45. Went to 311 Park Place.
Took a passenger there?
Sure. Picked him up at the observatory. I remember he was a little guy with a beard.
And he's the man we want to see. Look, can you come with us to where you took him, Mac? I'll pay you double for your time.
Sure, be glad to go along, Mr. Kent.
Fine, let's go.
A letter, you say? What kind of a letter?
A plain white envelope, Mr.
Biddleheimer, Professor Marcus Aurelius Biddleheimer.
Hey, boy, set him up.
I'm head of the Applied Science Department at Metropolis University.
Oh, yes, Professor Biddleheimer. I've heard of you, of course.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Have you read my book?
Well, not the last one.
You
about
really
this
should
letter.
read my last book, Mr.
Yes,
Kent.
but
As a
about the
newspaper reporter, you'll find it very interesting indeed.
Sure I will, and I'm looking forward to reading it, Professor. But about this letter, it's very important
Oh,
to see, and
yes,
I'd like...
a letter. What about a letter?
Well, you see, I think it might have been dropped in the taxi you came back in from the observatory. Now, it was a plain white envelope, heavily sealed with red wax, and it was addressed to Perry White, Lois Lane, and Jim Olsen.
We think Mr. White dropped the letter.
Well, I didn't see any letter.
You sure of that, Professor?
Of course I'm sure, young man. Quite sure.
I see. Well, thank you very much. All right, come on, Jim. Mac, let's go.
Well, Professor Biddleheimer
Emma, washes up our idea that Mr. White lost the letter in Mac's taxicab, huh?
Yeah, sure does. Not altogether.
But the professor was in the cab after us.
I know, Jim.
Well, if the letter was there, he'd have seen it.
Well, maybe not. If it was under one of the little spare seats or behind the main cushion, he might have missed it. Besides, it's obvious that he's the sort of person who's too preoccupied to pay much attention to things around him.
Gosh, but
I know, Jim, I know. You think we're playing an awfully long hunch.
Yeah, that's
But
right.
it's the only hunch I have right now, and I've got to follow it. And keep hoping we find the letter before somebody gets overly curious and opens it.
Hey, Mr. Kent, what was in this envelope? A lot of money?
Something much more important, Mac. Take another look at your log, will you, please? And tell me where you went after you dropped Professor Bittelheimer at his house here.
Sure. Let me see. That'll be right here at the bottom of the sheet, because it was my last call.
Huh?
Yeah, here it is. I picked up a fare on the boulevard and took him to the Metropolis Hotel.
Gosh, that's the biggest hotel in town.
Now, just a minute, Jim. You remember what your last passenger looked like, Mac?
Well, Mr. Kent, usual, I don't notice my fares much. Less than we get to talking to. There's something, different about him. Like that professor with his beard.
Try to remember, Mac. Try hard. It means a lot.
Let me see. I remember now. There were two guys I picked up.
Two?
Yeah, sure. One was a little guy.
A lot of help.
Quiet, Jim. Go on, Mac.
Yeah, sure. And the other guy, I remember him. He was taller and he had bushy eyebrows like like John L. Lewis, you might say.
Oh?
Black bushy eyebrows. I remember now noticing them.
Black bushy eyebrows, eh? All right, let's get into the cab and go to the Metropolis Hotel.
Oh, look, Mr. Kent.
What?
There's over 1,000 rooms in the Metropolis
I
Hotel.
know.
And lobbies and dining rooms all full of people. How do you expect to find one man there, if he still is there, when all you know about him is that he has bushy eyebrows?
Leave that to me, Jim. All right, let's go, Mac. Step on it.
Okay, Mr. Kent, hang on.
His face drawn with anxiety, Clark Kent is driven to the Metropolis Hotel, where we left Eyebrows and Buster with the vital letter. But are they still there? We'll know in a moment when we return for the tense climax of today's episode. So stand by.
You know, gang, there's sure a mad rush for the Kellogg's Pet Package these days, because that's the only place you can get those comic buttons in the brand new second series all the gang's collecting. And are these new Pep comic buttons terrific? Full-color, true-to-life pictures of your favorite comic strip characters looking so real you'd think they could walk and talk. There's Flash Gordon and Toots and Casper and Cindy and Superman, of course. 18 new and different buttons and all. You'll have a mighty slick collection when you pin them on your jacket or dress or cap. You see, these Pep comic buttons that you've been collecting right along have been mighty popular with all the fellows and girls. That's why Kellogg's Pep put out this brand new series, so that you can have even more fun collecting them and swapping duplicates with your pals. And the best part is, you don't have to send in any money for these swell prices, not even a box stop. And you can't buy them anywhere, but you get a comic button every time Mom opens a package of Kellogg's Pep. That's Pep, the Sunshine cereal, the good whole wheat flakes with a catchy sunshine flavor, so crisp and tender that you're glad when breakfast time rolls around. So get your prizes, gang, and the good eating in P-E-P, Kellogg's Pep.
As Clark Kent and Jimmy Olsen and Mac's taxi approach the Metropolis Hotel, Eyebrows and Buster, the two men in possession of Superman's letter, are leaving the elevator and walking through the lobby to the doors.
Now look at Eyebrows. Even if it was true, and this Kent guy is Superman.
That's a lot, you know.
Okay. But like I say, if he is, we're playing with dynamite.
So what?
Well, so what? Oh, ain't we got trouble enough keeping clear of the cops without getting in trouble with
Will you
Superman?
keep your yap shut?
But look.
Shut up. Follow me outside. Gotta get a cab.
I don't like this.
Ah. There's an empty cab. Come on, Buster.
Listen, will you? I tell you, we're playing with
I'm
dynamite.
willing to play with a little dynamite for $1 million. Aren't you?
Well, yeah, but I don't...
Get in the cab.
Where we going?
Do a little investigating. 1426 Market Street, driver.
Here's why I brought the guy with the bushy eyebrows, Mr. Kent. What do we do now?
While you and Jim go into the hotel lobby, Mac, stand by the door. If you see the man, hold on to him for dear life until I get there.
Well, where are you going, Mr. Kent?
I've got a little idea,Im. Go on, you and Mac wait in the lobby, huh?
Okay, come on, Jim.
Well, it sounds like a dumb idea to me. There must be a couple of thousand people in this hotel.
Jim, will
How
you...
are we going to find one man when all we know about him is that he's got bushy eyebrows?
Now, please, Jim, I know what I'm doing.
Well, I'm beginning to wonder. But okay.
There, they've gone. I can look this hotel over better as Superman. So out of these clothes. Now, if Mr. Bushy Eyebrows is here, I'll find him. Find out if he has my letter. There we are, all set. Now, up and away!
sky, Superman streaks up above the huge 40-story Metropolis Hotel and begins to circle it, his X-ray vision stabbing through brick and steel and plaster to search every room and probe every occupant. Then, disappointed, he flashes back into the taxicab, resumes his guise and garb of Clark Kent, and joins Jimmy and Mac in the hotel lobby.
Well, it's no use, boys. There's no tall, dark man with black, bushy eyebrows in this hotel.
Huh? How do you know, Mr. Kent?
I just looked, Jim, so
Well, you just looked. Well, there are over 1,000 rooms in this hotel.
Oh,
and
well-
dining rooms and a barber shop and a drugstore and,
Well-
and I don't know what else.
Yeah, that's right. You only been gone a few minutes. So how do you know a man isn't here? I
Just a second. Would you mind stepping over here with me a minute, Mr. Kent? Excuse us, will you, Mac?
Oh, yeah, sure. Look, Jim, what's the
Please,
idea?
Mr. Kent.
But what is this, Jim? We haven't much time, you know.
Look, Mr. Kent, are you sure you feel all right?
Yes, of course I do.
Are you sure nothing happened to you up on the planet Apollo?
Well, a lot of things happened, but I'm perfectly all right now, except that I'm very worried. What are you driving at, Jim?
Well, for the last few hours, ever since you got back from Apollo, you've been running around like a chicken with its head off. And I just realized it doesn't make sense.
Oh, yes, it does. You just don't understand, Jim.
Do you?
Oh, now, look, Jim,
Well,
I'm not
if
going
you do know what this is all about, suppose you let me in on it. Tell me why you're so upset about Superman's letter disappearing.
Why, well, I can't exactly explain, but...
No, of course you can't. That's why I say all this running around doesn't make sense.
But-
Look, I think you need a good rest, Mr. Kent. Why don't you
Now,
go...
look, Jim, I know what I'm talking about, and
Oh, yeah?
Yes. I tell you, if that letter falls into the hands of Superman's enemies, he'll be in a bad way. Matter of fact, it'll be serious if even his friends know what's in the letter.
Oh, jeepers, this gets crazier by the minute. Look, what is in that letter?
I can't tell you, Jim.
Oh.
But Superman said that unless his letter is recovered and returned to him unopened, the results may be very serious for him and for many others.
Superman told you that?
That's what he said. Are you satisfied now?
Oh, sure. Of course, I still can't figure it out.
Don't
but-
bother trying to figure it out. We've got to find that letter and find it quickly.
Okay, I'll do all I can. But where do we go from here?
Well,
You thought Mr. White lost the letter in Mac's taxi
I
cab.
don't see where else he could have lost it.
I don't either. The only people who rode in the cab after Mr. White were Professor Bittelheimer and the guy with the bushy eyebrows.
I know, Jim.
Professor Bittelheimer didn't find it, and we can't find Mr. Bushy Eyebrows.
That means I've got to do what I've been trying to avoid.
What do you mean?
I've got to call in the police and advertise for the letter.
That's what we should have done before.
Yes, I know, but I kept hoping I wouldn't have to. Because advertising for it and offering a reward might make whoever found it more curious to see what's in it.
Gee whiz, that's right.
I've got to take the chance now. Let's see, if I hurry, I'll just have time to get an ad in the last edition of the Daily Planet. Get in Mac's cab and go to police headquarters, Jim. I'll meet you there. Hurry now.
As Clark Kent decides on a desperate move in an attempt to recover the revealing letter, we find Eyebrows and Buster seated in a shabby coffee shop booth with a gray-haired, ferret-faced man who is known to the Metropolis underworld as the Fixer.
The guy I'm talking about, Fixer, is Clark Kent, a reporter for the Daily Planet.
Clark Kent, huh?
That's right. You know him, Fixer?
Now, let's see. I know most of the newspaper boys and the cops, too.
That's why we came to you. We want to know all about this guy, Kent.
Me, I don't want to know nothing about him.
Shut up, Buster. Now, what about him, Fixer?
Yeah, Eyebrows. I know him.
Good. What's the lowdown on him? Tell me everything you know.
First, you tell me this. You guys in a jam with Kent's paper?
No, we're not in any trouble, Fixer. Why?
On account of it makes the price different, see? Since you aren't in any trouble, just give me $20.
$20?
That's right. You don't think I'm running a free information bureau, do you?
No, of course not.
But $20, why we have
Quiet, Buster. Here you are, Fixer. If this works out okay, the info will be cheap.
It's just $20, just thrown in the gutter, that's what it is. I tell you, that letter's
Quiet,
a phony.
I said.
Okay. Go ahead, throw it away, I'll do.
Go on, Fixer. Talk.
Okay. Here's the dope on Kent. He's supposed to be a pretty smart guy.
He is, huh?
Yeah, he helped the cops crack some pretty big cases around this town, but...
We don't want no part of him.
Go on, Fixer.
Well, like I said, Kent's supposed to be a pretty smart guy. But he ain't got much moxie.
What do you mean? He's yellow?
Well, yeah, I guess you might say that. You see, whenever a case he's working on comes to a showdown and there's going to be any shooting, Kent always has business someplace else.
Oh, he has,
Yeah. Say, you look like I slipped you some bad news.
Yeah, that's bad news, all right.
Oh, no, it ain't. It's swell news. Come on, Eyebrows, let's get out of here.
I might as well. So long, Fixer.
So long, boys. And thanks for the business. Come back any time you want to know something.
Well, Eyebrows, you satisfied now that this guy Kent ain't Superman? especially since Fixer says Kent's a sissy character.
Yeah, it looks like I was wrong, Buster. That letter must have been a gag on Kent, like you said.
Sure it was. Only you wouldn't listen to me. And now you can't make that big party anymore tonight where there's all that ice and folding money just waiting for a smart pickpocket like
Yeah,
you.
I know. I thought sure I had $1 million in my hands. I would have, too, if that letter had been on the level. Well, those are the breaks. Here, wait. Wait, Buster. I want to take a quick gander at today's paper.
Oh, come on. You read the paper in the restaurant. I'm
a
hungry.
Minute, just a minute.
Huh? What?
Hey, Buster, look.
What?
Hey, look at this big ad on the first page of the Daily Planet. See what it says?
How can I see what it says? You know I can't read.
Now, listen, then. Lost. White envelope, heavily sealed with red wax, addressed to Mr. White, Lois, and Jim.
Huh? Hey, that's the letter I found, ain't it?
Yeah. The finder will return the envelope to Clark Kent or Perry White at the Daily Planet unopened. He will receive $1,000 reward.
$1,000? No kidding.
Hey, you realize what this means, Buster?
Do I, and how? 1,000 bananas. We'll seal that goofy letter up again like it was never opened. And we'll collect $1,000 from the suckers. Huh?
You're nuts. We'll collect $1 million for it.
$1 million? But the ad only says 1,000.
Never mind that. So far as I'm concerned, this ad practically says Clark Kent is Superman.
We'll be back in a moment with the tense climax of today's episode. So stand by.
Fellows and girls, I'm sure that if I ask you, you could tell me dozens of things that Thanksgiving Day stands for, like the courage of the Pilgrims and their happiness at finding a free land to live in. But you know, I wonder, have you ever stopped to think of how many millions of things you have to be grateful for on Thanksgiving Day or any other day of the year? Why, here in America, we have our families and our fun and friends. We have so many things that, well, we just take for granted, which so many young people in other countries are having to do without. Yes, gang, it's a good country we live in, and it's a good life we live in it. That's what we mean by Thanksgiving.
Discouraged to learn that Clark Kent was known to be somewhat cowardly, Eyebrow's confidence was restored when he picked up a late edition of the Daily Planet and read Clark Kent's offer of a $1,000 reward for the return of Superman's letter. Jubilantly, he announced to his companion,
Buster, this ad practically says Clark Kent is Superman.
What do you mean, Eyebrows?
Hey, don't you get it?
No.
Well, if he isn't Superman, why'd he be offering $1,000 to whoever returned the letter to him unopened?
I don't know, but he can't be Superman. You heard what the fixer says. Kent is yellow.
He only said Kent was never around when a case came to the payoff and there was shooting.
That's right. That means he's yellow.
Maybe. Or else he ducks away so he can come back as Superman.
Hey, I never thought of that.
Buster, I think that $1 million that flew out of the window just a while ago is flying right back in again.
Now wait a minute. Look. Maybe it looks a little like that, but we ain't got any real proof. No big shot operators will believe us without 100% proof.
I know it. But we're going to get the proof.
How?
I know how. Tonight, Buster, I'll prove. Anything new, Kent?
No, not a thing, Chief. Papers have been on the street almost 3 hours. Surely whoever found the letter must have seen the ad by now.
Yes, I suppose
It's on
so.
page 1 of every evening paper in Metropolis.
I know. But look, Kent, maybe nobody's found the letter.
Oh, somebody must have found it. You had it today at noon before you went to the observatory on Mount Arthur, didn't you?
Yes, but...
And it isn't anywhere in our shop, nor at the observatory, nor in the taxicab you rode in. So either someone picked your pocket or you dropped it outside and somebody found it.
Well, I suppose I lost it on the street and the street cleaner shoveled it up. It might be on the city junk pile.
No, it isn't. I looked.
You looked? When?
A little while ago.
Oh. Say, what are you talking about?
Huh?
It would take you a month to go through that 5 acres of trash on the city heap.
Don't be silly.
Silly? Wait, were you...
I'm sorry.
You...
I'm sorry, Chief. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be insulting. It's just that I'm very worried. I was hoping that ad would bring results so that the police or Candy Myers or maybe Batman would turn up something, but I'm starting to think I'm out of luck.
You? Why are you out of luck?
Huh? Oh, I mean Superman is.
Now, listen, Kent. I've been giving this matter a great deal of thought, and I still can't figure it out. Of course, I have no idea what could be in that letter, but whatever it is, I can't see how it could harm Superman.
Well, I wish I could explain it to you, Chief.
You mean you know?
That is...
Well, do you?
Yes, I do.
Well, then, for Pete's sake, tell me. What's in it? Maybe I can help somehow.
No, you can't help, Chief, and I can't tell you what's in the letter.
Well, how do you know? Why don't you tell me anyhow?
Because I can't.
Why not? Did Superman swear you to secrecy when you were up in the planet Apollo with him?
Well, I suppose that's one way of putting it.
Oh, what kind of an answer is that? Either he did or he didn't.
Well, he...
Now, look here, Kent. All this is beginning to sound cockeyed to me.
But
I'm getting a sort of strange idea, too, about
just
you.
a minute, Steve. Maybe that's about the ad. Hello?
That's you, Clark?
Yes, who's it?
Well, this is Bruce.
Who?
Bruce Wayne. You know, Batman.
Oh, hello, Bruce. Oh, sorry, didn't register for a moment. Look, have you had any luck?
Well, no, but...
No, who's that? Bruce Wayne.
Listen,
that playboy.
I've thought of something that may be very important. Can you come over here?
Well, I don't know. Somebody might come in yet in answer to the ad, and I think I should be here in case...
Look, leave word you're with me at the Boulevard Club. If anybody shows up, the switchboard girl can phone you, and you can hop right back as super... Well, you know what I mean.
Well...
It's really important, Clark.
Okay, then. I'll arrange things here and be right over.
Good. You'll find me in the dining room.
Why don't you order something, Clark? You probably haven't eaten all day.
As a matter of fact, I haven't, but I don't feel much like eating. I'm too worried.
I know, but just the same, you should eat. I'll order
No,
something.
please, Bruce. No, I haven't time. Just tell me what you wanted to see me about.
Okay, here it is. First, it occurred to me that anybody reading that letter probably wouldn't believe it.
Oh, now look, Bruce, if you're trying to cheer me up with false
No,
hopes...
now listen to me. I'm the only person in the world who knows you're Superman, right?
Well, you were the only one. Till that letter was lost.
Let
Not
me
anymore.
finish. Now, except for me, everyone else thinks you're a mild, timid guy, even a bit of a sissy. Isn't that so?
Yeah, I suppose. Although I think Perry White began to get suspicious tonight.
Oh, forget him. I'm sure anybody else would laugh at the idea of your being Superman.
But when they read the letter...
They'll probably still laugh. Or else, and this is why I had to see you, Clark, they'd try to test you.
Test me? You mean try to find out if I really am Superman?
Exactly. If whoever has that letter believes what it says and realizes the value of his information, he might try something like, well...
Firing a shot at me?
Maybe. Or pushing you out of a high window or something like that.
Yeah.
The important thing is that until we find that letter, I think you've got to be on your guard every second.
You're right, Bruce. How can I protect myself? Suppose somebody walks up behind me and fires a shot at my back. Bullet will bounce off me and he'll know the truth.
Oh, yes, that's right. Well, there's only one thing I can think of to do.
What's that?
Somebody's got to be with you every minute.
Huh?
Keep his eyes open and help you cover up in case anything happens. And that can only be yours truly.
Oh, I hate to ask you to do that, Bruce.
Oh, now forget it. It's vitally important that your identity as Superman remains a secret.
I know, but...
Besides, I know that you'd do as much for me if my identity as Batman were threatened. Now, wouldn't you?
Oh, yes, of course.
Okay, then it's settled. Now, what are your plans? Where are you going from here?
I'm going to the office and see if anyone came in about that ad and then go home.
Mm-hmm.
I want to think this thing out some more.
Okay, you call your office. I'll settle my dinner check and meet you out in the lobby.
Right.
As Clark Kent and Batman leave the Boulevard Club to go the short distance to Kent's apartment, two skulking figures drop from the fire escape on Kent's apartment house into the dark alley. Swiftly, they scuttle across the street, where they crouch in the dark shadows of a church overlooking Kent's building.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. That's Kent's apartment up there, Buster, see? Those windows on the 6th floor corner.
I don't like this, Eyebrows. Supposing he can tell we was up there.
How's he gonna tell?
Well, we might have left something.
No. I made sure we didn't leave anything. Not even a fingerprint.
But
I kept my gloves on the whole time I worked. Now remember, as soon as we see Kent's lights go on, you beat it to that drugstore in the corner. Call him up. And when he picks up the phone to answer, we'll know if he's Superman or not.
How we know?
How? Didn't I explain it to you, stupid? The telephone receiver will blow up in his face.
Holy
If
smokes.
nothing happens to Kent, we'll know he's Superman. And you and I won't have to pick another pocket as long as we live. We'll be millionaires.
But suppose he ain't Superman.
Well, and it's too bad. Because when he picks up the receiver, he won't even be Kent anymore. He'll just be a lot of little pieces.
Jeepers, that'll be murder.
Yeah. I don't like that part of it myself. But you gotta take big chances for $1 million.
Look at Eyebrows. Let's let go through with this. Let's sneak up there again and take the soup out of the phone. Come on.
You nuts, Buster.
Nah, look. We've been doing okay. Maybe we ain't rich, but we've been eating pretty regular and not getting caught and sent up too often. Why should we take a chance like this and maybe wind up in the hot seat?
Don't worry.
We're not winding up in any hot seat.
We might. Look, listen to me,
Now,
Eyebrows.
look, this is a chance in a lifetime, a chance to hit the jackpot. Now, shut up. Keep your eyes on Kent's windows.
But Eyebrows, look,
Wait. Look.
What?
Kent's lights just went on.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
All right, go on. Beat it. Get over to that drugstore and call him up.
But-
Get going, I said. I'll stay here till I hear the explosion. Then I'll meet you back at the hotel. Go on, hurry up.
Okay, Eyebrows. I sure hope this works out like you say. Okay, Eyebrows. I sure hope this works out like you say.
Sit down and relax, Bruce. I'll call the office and see if anybody showed up about the letter.
But you called just a minute ago from the drugstore on the corner, Clark.
I know, but there might have...
Jim said he'd call you here the moment anyone showed up. So you relax. You've got to keep your wits about you, you know.
Yeah, I know. Well, maybe I'll change my shirt first.
What for? Where are you going?
I'm going to wait here an hour or two and then go out again. Be with you in a moment.
Okay, take your time.
Well, that may be Jim now.
There we are. I'll answer it.
Taking but one step to the telephone on the table, Bruce Wayne, who is really the famous Batman, reaches for the receiver, in which is set a trap that means certain death for anyone in the world but Superman. We'll know what happens in a moment when we return for the startling climax of today's episode. So stand by.
You know, gang, there's certainly been a load of excitement around these last couple of weeks, ever since I broke the news about that new series of comic buttons Kellogg's Pep is putting out. All the fellows and girls in the gang are getting set to collect all 18 of these new comic strip characters. Better get going on your collection, too, because you won't want to miss out on the fun. First, it's a thrill to see which button you find every time you open a new package of Kellogg's Pep. Maybe it's a funny paper character that you don't have yet, like the Little Moose, or maybe Brenda Starr, or Superman himself. Or if it's a duplicate, then it's fun to find out which one of your pals has a different button that you can swap with him. So how about asking Mom right now to get you plenty of that sunshine cereal, Kellogg's Pep? That's how easy it is to get these comic buttons. You don't send in any money, not even a box stop. And you can't buy them anywhere, but you'll find one in every package of Kellogg's Pep. That's Pep, the sunshine cereal, you know. Pep, the whole wheat flakes with a come-on flavor for breakfast, so golden toasted and crisp that, well, you practically can't resist them. Pep's good for you, too. Sure, Mom knows that. So remind her to stock up on P-E-P, the sunshine cereal, Kellogg's Pep.
Unaware that the receiver of Clark Kent's telephone has been transformed by Eyebrows into a deadly booby trap, Bruce Wayne, who is really the famous Batman, is about to remove the receiver.
Bruce. Batman, you all right?
I guess so.
Oh, thank heaven.
Well, what?
Wait a minute, I'll help you up.
No, I can manage.
You sure you're okay?
Sure, I'm okay, but... Oh, great snakes, what happened to you, Clark?
Oh, nothing, I just...
What, nothing? Hey, your face is as black as coal, and so are your hands, and
Oh, well...
look at your clothes.
Oh, never mind that. Listen, what I want
You must be hurt.
Who, me?
Oh, yes, what am I talking about? You're Superman, but... Hey, what did happen?
There was a charge of dynamite on the telephone receiver.
It was what?
Dynamite, and it was rigged to explode when the receiver was taken off the hook. Fortunately, I saw it in time.
Wow. Fortunately is right. I could practically feel that halo on my head when I heard that explosion. Hey, these are nice enemies you've got.
Somehow, I don't think this was done by my enemies.
You mean your friends were trying to get rid of you?
No, of course not. I think...
Listen.
Uh-oh. There's a crowd outside my door.
Open up the door.
What happened in there? Open the door. Quite a crowd up.
Explosion didn't sound like a cap pistol, you know. Look, I'll tell them everything is okay, then we can look
No,
at it.
wait a minute. Don't tell them that.
Why?
I want you to say I was injured, seriously injured.
Hey, look, I don't get this.
Come here. I'll explain later. Right now, just do as I say, Bruce, please. Tell them I was seriously injured and that nobody can come in.
But, Clark...
Tell them you're a doctor and your orders are that I'm to see no one.
But what about the police?
Don't let anyone in yet. Come into the bedroom as soon as you've gotten rid of them, and then I'll explain. Hurry.
Okay, I got rid of the crowd. Now, look, will you please... Clark, what are you doing in bed?
That explosion will be reported. So I've got to make it look good when the police show up.
Make what look good? What goes on here? Why did you make me tell your neighbors you were seriously injured?
Because I've got a strong hunch, Bruce. This was a trick by whoever found that letter to test me.
To test you?
Yes. Don't you remember what we talked about just before? Matter of fact, it was you who suggested that whoever found the letter wouldn't believe I was Superman, but might try to test me to make sure.
Oh, yes, that's right. Now, your hunch is that someone who found the letter put the dynamite in your telephone receiver.
Right. His idea being that if I was unhurt, it would prove I was Superman.
Uh-huh. And if you were killed, it would prove you weren't.
Exactly.
Oh, that's a lovely character.
Very. Now, we've got to make sure he hears what happened. I mean, our version of what happened. So here's your next job, Bruce.
Okay, shoot.
Go down to the lobby and phone the Daily Planet radio station. Tell them to put a special bulletin on the air at once saying that
You sure you heard the explosion in Kent's apartment, Eyebrows?
Yeah. How many times do I have to tell you, Buster? I was right outside Kent's building. And believe me, it was one beaut of an explosion.
Then what happened?
I didn't stay to find out. But we'll know soon. Either we'll hear that Kent was hurt bad, maybe killed in an explosion in his apartment.
Don't say that.
Or we won't hear anything. And that'll mean Kent wasn't hurt on account of his Superman, the way the letter says he is.
Look, how are we going to hear about it? Either way.
It'll be in the paper, stupid. And maybe on the radio, too.
Oh.
Hey, it's just about time for the regular news broadcast now. I'll turn on the radio and we'll catch a listen.
Creepers, I'm nervous.
Now, relax. Pull yourself together.
But supposing we killed the guy?
I don't think we did. Because I'm sure Kent's Superman.
And now, the Daily Planet, Metropolis' foremost newspaper, brings you the news of the hour on the air.
Hold everything, Buster. Here comes the news.
Clark Kent,
Oh, boy, my nervous.
star
Shut
reporter for the Daily Planet newspaper, was seriously injured in his apartment this evening by a mysterious explosion.
Hey, get that.
The full extent of Mr. Kent's injuries are not yet known, but his physician says they are so serious that he cannot be moved to a hospital.
Holy smoke.
Quiet.
The police, who were called to the scene, have not yet issued a statement.
The police? Hey, that's
Unofficial
bad.
reports indicate a deliberate attack on Mr. Kent's life. He was... Oh, excuse me, please. Here's another bulletin that just came in. Clark Kent's condition is unchanged and remains critical, according to...
What'd you turn it off for?
I heard enough. Oh, how do you like that for rotten luck?
This is a tough break, Eyebrows.
Kent isn't Superman, hang it. Could have made $1 million if he was.
I told you all the time he wasn't. Now what do we do, Eyebrows?
Go back to picking pockets and dodging the cops, I guess.
The cops, that's what I mean. We can't tangle with the law. We gotta blow out of this town.
Why?
On account of it, Kent dies, we'll be murderers.
Oh, now don't lose your nerve, Buster. Nobody can prove we did it.
But they might. We might have left some clue.
But we didn't. Told you I kept my gloves on all the time we were working in Kent's apartment.
Yeah, I know, but...
Forget it. Tell you, we got nothing to worry about. Only thing that bothers me is that letter was a phony. And all our work to prove that Kent is Superman was for nothing.
Now to repeat the headlines of the hour. Clark Kent, star reporter for the Daily Planet, was seriously injured
Turn it
in a
off,
mysterious
Bruce.
explosion in his apartment this evening.
I've heard enough. As a matter of fact, that's the third time it's been repeated on a news broadcast.
Well, that ought to convince Mr. Whoever it is that you're not Superman, Clark.
Yes, it should, Bruce, but...
But what?
Well, we can't be sure. He may decide to try something else, and next time he might succeed.
Well, yes, but
There's only some way to find out who it was and how he's taking this phony news of my injury.
I don't know how we can find that out. Inspector Henderson's men are on the job, but they haven't been able to uncover anything.
Uh-oh, doorbell. See who it is, will you please, Bruce? I
Sure.
gotta stay covered up in bed.
Okay.
If it's Perry White or Lois or Jim, let them in. They know I'm all right.
Okay. Oh, hi, Sergeant. Come on in.
Hello, Wayne. Inspector Henderson wanted me to tell you he found a glove on the fire escape.
A glove?
Yes, sir. One of them thin ones. Like safecrackers wear so as not to leave fingerprints.
Mm-hmm.
Only sometimes they leave prints inside the gloves.
Yes, I know.
Yes, sir. We figure the fella got in and out of the building by the fire escape. Maybe dropped his glove on the way out.
Oh, of course. Oh, where is this glove, Sergeant?
The inspector took it to the police laboratory. He just said for me to tell you maybe we had a clue to whoever tried to murder poor Mr. Kent.
Well, I sure hope so. Thanks, Sergeant.
Well, that's all. So I'll be going now.
Oh, will you tell Inspector Henderson we'll wait to hear more from him?
You bet. I hope Mr. Kent will be okay.
Thanks. Goodbye.
So long.
Clark, did you hear that?
Yes, I sure did, Bruce.
This glove may be the... Hey, what are you doing out of bed?
I'm going to police headquarters. This might be bad news.
Bad news?
Yes, Bruce. Very bad news.
Puzzled, Bruce Wayne stares at Clark Kent, who is swiftly stripping down to his Superman costume. What does Kent mean? We'll know more in a moment when we return for the climax of today's episode. So stand by.
Say, gang, you know why Kellogg's Pep is putting out that brand new series of comic buttons, don't you? Because these Pep comic buttons have been terrifically popular with fellows and girls in the gang. Yes, sir. They've made such a big hit, all the kids are mighty thrilled to have a brand new series of 18 new and different buttons to collect. Just let me tell you some of the comic strip characters to look for. There's Toots and Casper, the Inspector from the Cats and Jammer Kids, and Pat Patton, Tess Trueheart, Chief Brandon, and Vitamin Flintheart, and Superman, of course. 18 new pep comic buttons in all, every one a humdinger for looks. Believe me, you'll feel like strutting around when you wear 'em pinned on your jacket or your dress or cap. And you wouldn't want to miss the fun of trading duplicates with your pals. So hop to it, gang. Get busy on your collection. Remind Mom to get you a package or two of that Sunshine cereal, Kellogg's Pep, and you'll find a comic button inside every package. That's right. You don't have to send in any money, not even a box top. And you can't buy these swell prizes anywhere. But you get 'em along with a mighty delicious dish for breakfast in packages of those toasted whole wheat flakes with the Sunshine flavor. That's P-E-P, the Sunshine cereal, Kellogg's Pep.
Resuming his identity as Superman, Clark Kent has just announced to Bruce Wayne, the famous Batman, that the finding of a glove on his fire escape by the police was bad news.
Clark, tell me, what do you mean it was bad news?
If that glove was dropped by the man who found my letter, there may be fingerprints inside the glove which will lead Inspector Henderson to him.
Right, that's what I'm hoping.
Oh, well, I'm not.
Why not?
Look, strip down to your Batman costume, Bruce. I want you to come along with me.
Okay, but look, I don't get it. You said you wished you knew who had the letter so you could find out if he believed our story of your being seriously injured tonight.
Right.
So he'd be convinced that you aren't Superman. Now, didn't you?
That's right, and I still want to find that man. But I must find him before Henderson does.
Well, Clark, for heaven's sake, why?
Because whoever he is undoubtedly still has my letter.
Well, so what?
Inspector Henderson knows Superman's handwriting, that's what.
Oh.
If he finds the guy, he'll see in a moment that I really wrote that letter. Then he'll hot-foot it over here, discover that Clark Kent wasn't even scratched by the explosion.
And putting two and two together, Henderson will know that you're Superman.
Right. You see, I know he's had an occasional suspicion before. This would clinch it.
Oh, great snakes. What are we going to do?
Well, I don't know yet. We've got to find out who our man is and get to him before Henderson does.
Tall order, chum.
I know, but we've got to put it over. Oh, you ready?
Yep, all set.
Okay, then hang on. That's it. We're going through the window.
Let her rip.
Right. Out! Up! So you did find fingerprints in the glove, Sergeant O'Neill.
As fine a set as you'd ever want to see, Superman.
Have you identified them as yet?
Not yet, Batman. I was just going up to the bureau to see if they match any in our file. If they do, we ought to have the man who tried to murder Clark Kent.
Oh, Sergeant, do you mind if we go with you? Well, we're very good friends of Kent's, and we're interested in this case.
Even more than that.
Oh, come right along.
Oh, fine.
Thanks, Sergeant.
Now, this way. Follow me. This fingerprint sorting machine is almost human, you know.
Yes, it certainly is. You have the prints of every person you ever arrested on cards punched according to a specific system, don't you, Sergeant?
Yes, and if the prints I found in the glove match any in our files, the machine will stop.
Well, it hasn't stopped yet, and it's practically through that huge stack of cards. You know, Superman, looks like that glove was a false lead. Some innocent person must have dropped it.
I don't think so, Batman. It was found on the fire escape of Kent's apartment house. Wait a minute. Machine stopped.
Yes. Well, Sergeant, what's the answer to the $64 question?
Just a moment, please. Here we are. Number 3Y46-078.
I suppose that refers to a name in your file.
Yep, it does. And if you'll step across the hall with me to the master file, we'll find the name of the person whose fingerprints were found in the glove. 078. Here we are.
What's the name, Sergeant?
Henry Baker, alias Henry Cook.
Baker to Cook. What an imagination.
And several other aliases, commonly known as eyebrows because of his thick, bushy brows.
You hear that, Batman? On a hunch that Perry White lost my letter in a taxi, I investigated and found that one of the passengers who rode in it that same day had thick, bushy eyebrows.
Well, maybe now we're getting someplace. Sergeant, what else do you have about this character?
Arrested for picking pockets in 1926 and again in 1929. Sentenced to 1 year in state prison.
A pickpocket, eh?
Uh-huh. Also arrested on suspicion of safe-breaking in 1932, but acquitted. Sentenced again for theft.
All right, thank you. That's enough, Sergeant. This fellow sounds like our man.
He sure does. Oh, Sergeant, what's the last address you have for him?
Let's see. Last known to be in California. Yeah, but he must have come back since we found his glove on Kent's fire escape.
Oh, yes, of course.
Well, I'm going in to report this to Inspector Henderson. He'll put out an alarm for this eyebrows character. You two coming along?
Oh, sure.
No, thanks very much, Sergeant. Wait,
Superman.
Batman. You go ahead, Sergeant.
All right, then. I'll be seeing you.
Right, and thanks again.
You're welcome.
Superman, what's the idea? Don't you think we should stick close to Henderson so when he picks up this eyebrows, we'll be right there?
Why, good'll that do? When Henderson picks him up, chances are he'll find my letter on him. He'll recognize my handwriting.
Yes,
He'll
but
go over to my apartment and find out that Clark Kent wasn't even scratched by the explosion. Then he'll know the letter is genuine and that Kent is Superman.
Hey, that's right. Well, looks like he's got us.
He has. Unless we get to eyebrows first.
Well, how are we going to do that? We haven't even the least idea where he is.
Oh, yes, we have. The taxi driver took him to the Metropolis Hotel early this afternoon.
He did?
Uh-huh. I looked the hotel over, but didn't see a man with bushy eyebrows. It was only a vague clue, so I didn't go back. Now things are different.
You're not kidding.
So let's go.
I'm with you.
All right, hang on, chum. We're going through this window.
Let her rip.
Right. Up and away!
Hey, you're getting me dizzy. Zipping around this hotel like a comet, Superman. Any sign of our friend with the eyebrows?
Not yet, Batman.
Hey, has it occurred to you he might not live here?
Huh?
That he only stopped by this afternoon for lunch or something?
Aren't you the cheerful soul?
I'm sorry, but we've got to face facts. Oh, and there's something else.
Yes?
Suppose he is here. We just can't pop in and demand the letter from him. That'll make him suspicious that you are Kent.
We'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
If we come to it.
Well, it's my only... Uh-oh.
Hey! You put out your hand when you're going to jam on the brakes.
Sorry. Look.
At what?
That room straight ahead. There's a tall, dark man in there, and he's got black, bushy eyebrows.
Oh?
And there's a little fellow with him. Hang on, Batman. We're going to perch on their windowsill and see what goes on. Shade is down. They can't see us.
And you forget I have no X-ray vision, so I can't see them either, or hear them.
Wait a minute. I'll open the window slightly. I don't think they'll notice. Watch it. Easy. Now they're too excited to notice. Once more now. Watch it. There. I can hear them quiet.
No, I can't find it anyplace, but...
Creep is louder than super good eyebrows.
Maybe not.
Oh, no? How about if you lost your glove in Kent's apartment?
I didn't, I tell you.
How do you know? You didn't know just now that you lost it at all.
I know. But I'm sure I didn't lose it in Kent's apartment.
There are men.
I tell you I
There
didn't.
are.
Anyhow, even if I did, how will the cops know it's my glove?
How? Didn't you read it to me yourself, out of the paper? How cops can get fingerprints out of the inside of the glove?
Yes.
Well, we've got to blow out of here fast.
Now, wait a minute.
Now, look, wait, nothing. Kent is right there. If he dies, we'll be murderers.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, now, look, you just stay here if you want. I'm blowing.
Now, look, Buster, look here.
Look, you and your big ideas to make $1 million proving Kent was Superman have made us candidates for the hot seat.
Now, Buster, wait.
No, I ain't waiting another minute. I'm going to throw my guns in a suitcase, and I'm blowing out of the country.
Maybe you're right. We better scram.
That's a relief, Batman.
A relief?
Yes, we know now that our little trick, my pretending to be seriously injured in the explosion, worked. They're convinced I'm not Superman.
Sure, but they must still have your letter.
Yes, but I still
And if Inspector Henderson grabs them and recognizes your handwriting in the letter, you're still in trouble.
Henderson won't find a letter on them.
You mean you're going to take it away from them?
Well, not by force. As you pointed out before, that would make them suspicious all over again. And men can talk in jail.
Well, then how do you intend to work it?
Well, I can see the letter. It's in an overcoat on the bed.
Well, so what?
Well, the little fellow is across the room in the closet taking his clothes off the hooks.
Mm-hmm.
Eyebrows is at the dresser. So as soon as he turns his back... Uh-oh, wait a minute. There.
Look out, they'll hear the window.
Relax. Now, look, I'm going to be in and out of there like the wind, so be ready to take off on the fly when I come out.
Okay.
Eyebrows is walking over to the closet. Here goes. Come on, Batman.
Okay. You get the letter?
I sure did. You should have seen their faces when they heard that rush of wind. They're so scared they won't stop running till they get to South America.
Or until they run into Inspector Henderson's arms.
I'm not worried about that now since I've got the letter. Say, that reminds me, I'm supposed to be injured.
You mean Clark Kent is?
Uh-huh. I better get back to my apartment and stay in bed for a few days, or a lot of people may ask embarrassing questions.
Never a dull moment, huh?
You said it. Here we go. Away!
Relieved of the danger of exposure, Superman rockets back to his apartment with Batman, believing all his troubles are over. But unknown to him, a new and even greater menace is being leveled against him and against those he loves best at this very instant. We'll be back in a moment with the startling climax of today's episode. So stand by.
Say, I'll bet you stand watch these days whenever it's time for Mom to open a new package of Kellogg's Pep. Yes, sir, it's a mighty exciting moment because you're all set for another new comic button to add to your collection. That's why Pep is putting out this brand new series, you know, because all the kids in the gang have been getting such a kick out of collecting those Pep comic buttons. So these 18 new and different characters just about double and quadruple the fun. And are these buttons snappy looking to wear pinned on your jacket or your dress or cap, done up in full comic strip colors on a gleaming white background? Why, the pictures of your funny paper favorites stand out like anything. Like Cindy, for instance, from Smilin' Jack. Boy, she's a honey. And Judy and Corky from Gasoline Alley. And Superman himself. Believe me, you wouldn't want to miss out on a single one of these new buttons. And you don't have to. No, sir. They're that easy to get. You just ask Mom to get the Sunshine cereal, Kellogg's Pep, and look for a comic button as a prize inside every package. And Pep's a prize when it comes to good eating at breakfast, too. So crisp and fresh and golden, full up with catchy sunshine flavor. Good for you, too. Sure, Mom knows that. So remind her to get you some P-E-P, the Sunshine cereal, Kellogg's Pep.
In Willow Heights, the well-to-do suburb 18 miles from the heart of Metropolis, it is just after 11 o'clock at night. As in his small police station, Sheriff Johnson yawns and reaches for the ringing telephone on his desk.
Sheriff's office. Johnson speaking. Who? Oh, yes, Miss Taylor. What? What's that? Perry, wait. When? Sure. You bet. I'll be right over. Yes, right away. Ed.
Yeah, Sheriff?
Come on out to the car. Hurry. Perry White's just been shot.
What? Harry White? Editor of the Daily Planet?
That's right. Come on, man. Move. We've got to get right out to his house. Pronto.
Wide awake now, Sheriff Johnson, followed by his deputy, rushes from the little station house and into his car to investigate the report that Perry White has been shot. Who shot the gray-haired editor? Why? How serious is Superman's friend's injury? This begins a brand new and exciting Superman adventure, fellows and girls. It's full of excitement, mystery, thrills, and it gets underway tomorrow. So be sure to be with us then. Same time, same station.
And remember, for breakfast, it's Kellogg's Pep.
For excitement, the adventures of Superman.
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC comic magazines and is brought to you Monday through Friday at this same time by Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine cereal. Say, when you think of toasty words like crisp, crunchy, crinkly, you just naturally go right on to Crumbles, Kellogg's Crumbles. So toasty and sweet and mellow rich on a frosty morning. What a dish for breakfast. The only cereal in the whole wide world made in those little crinkly shreds of good whole wheat. And you know about whole wheat, don't you? You know it's good for you. So get your wholesome whole wheat in crisp, crunchy, crinkly, Crumbles, Kellogg's Crumbles. And be sure to be with us tomorrow for the thrilling adventures of Superman.